I'm going to be discussing 7 of the interior design elements that Designer Soup Studio is absolutely loving to see in 2023. And what I've been seeing a lot of is basically individuality. So what I'm doing here for 2023, oftentimes I feel like being a designer, and then myself in particular, I get all of these sonar waves that come through pretty early on, just kind of seeing different things that are unique and just something that is slightly ahead, like within design, that not a lot of people might like. This is basically my energy reading, if you will, for what I think are the design trends that I feel will pull through within this year. Everyone has a different perspective. Everyone is going to feel a different way about this. If this is not for you, then that's okay. This video is for those in which I believe would really love these elements. I do think that a lot of people have been a little bit plagued with trends, if you will. We have gone through so many of them, and it's almost like we are a little confused that we were so overwhelmed that we just decided to create something safe. And there was less decision making when it came to finding something that actually resonated with you and you really liked it because you were too afraid that it wouldn't look nice maybe, or it wouldn't age well, etc. But I think this year we're going to start listening to ourselves more, and I think that is amazing. So with that being said, a lot of these 7 elements have a lot of unique and individual things where you can customize to your own personal liking. My first trend prediction for 2023 that I'm really feeling, and I've seen it really pop up a lot, is the skirting under the sinks, whether in the kitchen or in the bathroom. That under apron fabric. Really love this idea because this really kicks everything off, this aspect or element of design with a very intrinsic language. And I find it really exciting when you have the ability to have an element where it's light and airy, where some things are a lot more hardcore and more permanent. Kitchen cabinet fronts do, you know, scream more permanent. And so if you have a customization area where you could put a particular fabric that you are in love with, and then maybe a few years later swap it out, it's honestly the most innate kind of sustainability that you could incorporate into your design when you have an element, especially a sustainable fabric, that you could swap that out with. And there are so many different options in the marketplace. You could go pattern, you could go with this amazing tartan and checkers, or a jacquard, or a chintz, or anything like that, whatever you like. And I absolutely love it. You can go with any one of these that you want. All right, so number 2, another thing that I really, really love and would love to see more of in 2023 is if we bring our sinks more character. If we have a lot of motifs or stylized elements, especially if you decide to go with an apron front. If I were to go with an apron front, I would have like a scalloped apron front. I would go with a colorful sink, a sink that has like chinoiserie, like just very ornate and decor forward, and something that tells a story. I'm linking this back to individuality because I really would love to see personally as an interior designer if a lot more people were tapping into their own personality and painting a space, because historically, if you look back, like we really love these spaces that have so much character, and the reason they exist is because the people that lived there like put their personality out there, and they just like splayed it all over the walls. And you know, every tiny thing that they had in that home was very interpersonal and had a purpose. It made them happy. And I feel like, why on earth are we just getting plain sinks sometimes? Like, because we feel like we have to. Get a plain sink if you feel like you want to, but me personally, just knowing all the vendors out there, I mean, there are so many different sinks, like they're incredible. Like, look at this one, like it's a pedestal sink and it basically looks like it's something that Ariel would have like down underneath the sea. And like, you get to see that every day. Like, please, it's amazing. So wherever you have a sink, add some character, because we sit at these sinks and oftentimes like we're preparing food by these sinks, we're preparing drinks, or we're washing dishes, and like we're standing in this place and we're holding this space with each other. Me personally, as an interior design studio, I'm going to be searching the internet for amazing cool sinks, and I think that that would be my number 2, 1000%. The more I started to look at green marble, I was like, there is something so beautiful and natural about this green style. Pairing things like along in history is that during the mid-century and kind of like the 50s, 60s, there's a green marble called ALPI VERDE, or VERDE marble, and it was heavily used. Green marble was a big deal, so I wouldn't be shocked if there's a little bit of a historical overlap happening right now, and that's probably why I'm kind of feeling like this sonar. The client that I was working with, she actually is very avant-garde and just does whatever she wants. So she's on her own sonar wave. So I feel like she had felt that out early too. So this is something that I truly believe with my studio that I'm going to pursue more in design. And that is the introduction of green marble and also gray marble. So we've had a lot of white marble for a very long time. We've had gray veining. We've even had some like crazy red and pink veining. And of course, it's gonna be like however you want. But I have some marble slabs out here of particular pieces of green marble. And I'm just gonna go through them really quick with you guys. So this one is a little bit of a blue-green. It's by Artistic Tile, and it is Calacatta turquoise. And this is polished, but this basically is more bright white, but it has like that deep ocean green. So it's more of like an oceanic green, and that's why that has some of that blue. That's one of my favorite ones. Another one that I have here, again, I love Artistic Tile. This one is called Malachite, and this one's polished as well. So when it comes to marble, like polished, unpolished, honed, whichever suits you best, you can discuss that with your designer and they'll happily talk to you about it. But I'm really liking the polished green. This is very beautiful. And then another one here is Daedalus, and Daedalus is actually a mythological character. He lived in Crete. This is so funny. He lived in Crete, and he was the like famous inventor for the Cretan king Minos, I think, but he was a jerk. But this is so funny. So I love this even more now that I know this. But this green has more of a like super green next to more of like a winter green on here, and it looks very reptilian. Amazing, very beautiful. And this one honestly aesthetically has to be my favorite. Holy cow. This one is called Water Lilies, and it literally embodies like the softness of a water lily. This looks like the petal of a water lily. It has like flecks of yellow and just like a soft light that kind of passes through it, that like through this green element. Love that. Another thing is adding something a little bit more fun and spontaneous and has a lot more character, is just adding a nice terrazzo. I really like this one. It again has that like ocean green aspect to it with a little bit of blue. And then we have our beautiful grays. This one right here is Ocean Blue Travertine, again by Artistic Tile, and I just love how it looks like it was just cut through like a riverside rock, because it has all these like pebbling effects on it. But this is kind of like a gray mixed with a blue-green. And then we have just this amazing kind of like light gray that's not too dark, kind of like a Dorian gray. And I think that even pairing the green with the gray throughout the house is something that I would do. Basically having like this type of gray countertop with, you know, an apron front sink that has the skirting, and then like a ochre cabinet, wood painted cabinet. And then I think I saw something online. I'm gonna post a bunch of the photos here, but these are the main types of marble colors and kind of vibes that I'm getting for 2023. For number 4, I have a charming mix of light wood and dark wood. So basically, an example that I really would love to see in 2023 is herringbone, but you mix it with a walnut and a white oak. And you have this type of patterning that you create with the floor, and it looks amazing. I'll put some examples up on the screen, but here are some more examples here. You know, like you could do like a wild type of parquet, or just have like a dark wooden stain countertop, light floors. But I feel like it's no longer just going to be, okay, we have white oak, we want white oak everything, we cannot mix the wood tones. I feel like kind of how the polished nickel and the brass was constantly being paired over the past few years. I'm seeing the same thing happening with those metals continuing on, but this time with the flooring. So I feel like a dark wood with a lighter wood, mixing that is going to create a beautiful, beautiful pairing. One of the things that I don't need anything to show you guys, I might find some examples online, is just basically having less stuff. So as our spaces get smaller and the cities grow bigger, we've seen real estate kind of shrinking in a way. And I feel like it would be an amazing aspect to lighten and free ourselves up. Me personally, I have been trying to get rid of a couple of things. Like if you're a nostalgic person like I am, I've been basically taking a photo of it and then just having it saved in Google Photos, and then I'll be able to look at that. But I think one of the things that's like completely free as a trend this year would be getting rid of a lot of the stuff that's been cluttering our lives and kind of weighing us down, even if it's, literally physically or emotionally. I think that getting rid of a lot of unnecessary items in our space and choosing to align with what really serves us in our spaces. And that again is going to come with figuring out who we are as individuals and what we want to carry forward with us through this year and what we are shedding. All right, this has to be, well, they're all my favorites, but this has to be like my super, super favorite. I think that we're gonna be seeing a lot more bookshelves incorporated in various different areas of the home. If not, then more libraries, I believe, are going to be popping up, whether it's a full wall, but I do believe my prediction and something that I would like to see come forward in 2023 is having a dedicated library space or a reading space or a space that's like technology free, something where you can go in there, not have your phone, not have a TV, not have a computer, not have anything, and just have something where you can just be alone with your thoughts and kind of go and just read into whatever, you know, floats your boat. But, you know, having just also the amazing variation of book covers and illustrations that you can display your favorite books. But I really do think that I personally, I mean, if I have become a reader in the past couple of years, I guess like the sonar is kind of going off that a lot of people will probably be taking up the same hobby. I have known throughout my life a lot of avid readers, and I've always been like, I don't know how you have so many books. But now I definitely see it. So if I'm reading now, I feel like a lot more people are going to be reading, because I never thought I would be an avid reader. But I do think that a lot of people are kind of needing an escape from technology, but they still want to be entertained. And I do think that they're going to find that within various different literatures, novels, and reading. So I do think that an incorporation of library space is going to be something that is seen in 2023. The last one I have here is basically a clever use of mirrors. And I say that because we have smaller spaces, like I said, and basically when we have smaller space, we need to get smart about how we make them look bigger, so we don't get too claustrophobic. But there's tons and tons of different styles of mirrors, but I have a few here with me. They're not exactly the right type. I just want just a plain, you know, traditional mirror, maybe that conceals a post in the home, or instead of having the wooden beams across your home, you have like mirrored beams going across your home, anything to reflect the light. Like, just get super creative with it. Not just on the backsplash, not just in those, art design like acceptable spaces where you would put mirrors. I want to see mirror in a place where we haven't seen it before, where it adds light and it adds dynamic and space to our homes, and also in commercial spaces as well. I think that would be really cool. So that is it for today. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I really wanted to just share a lot of my thoughts. I hope that I, hadn't gone on too long about too many things, but yeah, if you guys have any questions or want to ask me a little bit more about why I think these trends are going to be big, or if you have a particular question about any one of these items that I talked about, just let me know. I have an Instagram at Designer Soup and a TikTok at Designer Soup Studio, and you can find me there. If you're looking for an interior designer, hit me up. I'm in the Washington, D.C. metro area in Northern Virginia, and I'd love to talk. I'll see you again next time. Peace.